What's up, guys? Daemonxel back again with another Eve Frontier video. It is another Frontier Friday where we're going to break down the stream. It was a short stream and go over everything they talked about. Plus, we're going to touch on some things they talked about the other day on Lorimer's stream. And I'm going to tell you guys why I have not been around for the last 2 weeks. So, let's talk. All right, you know what we're going to do before we do anything else. That's right, we are going to do our shameless plug, and that is if you are not a founder, or if you are a founder and you've never used someone else's code before, a referral code, go ahead, you can touch the link down below in the description below, or just use the code and plug that into that referral page on your account page on the website, so you can be a founder, or use, or if you're already a founder, go ahead and do that. So that's the shameless plug. Okay. So let's talk about why I have not been around or have not made content for eFrontier in the last any content in the last 2 weeks or so. So, about 2 weeks ago, my mother went down with a heart attack, and I lost my mother. So, my mom did die within these last 2 weeks. So we're just starting to get back to normal. So a lot of stuff's coming out about eFrontier, and the way I know about going back to normal is starting to make content. Now I have not been away. Like I've played the game on and off for these last 2 weeks, just as kind of like an escape, a break from everything that's going on. And I've still been in contact with a lot of people, and you've seen me on Discord and such. But if you're wondering where I was, why there was no videos, that's the reason why. But we're going to start that up again. We're cranking out all the videos. In fact, I should be, over the next 2 days, going to be launching a video that basically covers everything that you might have missed in the last 2 weeks, news-wise, as well as some community news. That's right. We have some breaking community news about what's going on in the community, some wars that are being fought, some battles, stuff like that. And yeah, that's basically what's going on. So let's talk about the Frontier Friday stream that happened today. Now, they brought up a couple different things. If you guys don't mind, I'm just kind of buzzing around here, this drifting tower ruins. So the first thing they did, they got everyone hyped for the stream for next Friday. Now, if you're wondering why use this Friday stream to hype up for next Friday, well, that's because they are finally going to release the roadmap of eFrontier. Now, with this roadmap, everything is going to be planned out. Everything's going to be explained until March 2026. So we're going to have a generalized idea of what they want to come out, what we're going to be playing with, what we're going to be testing over this next, well, not much a year, but, more than 6 months, maybe about 8 months. So they say basically they have these certain priorities they want to cover in this time that they're working on. They also have a backlog of things they want to cover as well, but they're kind of like on the back burner, right? They don't take precedence over the stuff that they're working on. So that stuff's they're gonna go back and take care of that stuff after March 2026. So the next thing they talked about was what was released, and we're going to talk about this in the next video too, about the WASD controls with the aimed firing. That's right. You finally get manual control over your firing. Let me bring up the video that they posted about it. All right. So if you haven't been on the official Discord, or you have not watched Lorimer's stream where they announced this, this is basically, now this right here, right? This is basically your rudder controls. And currently right now, as you can see, they are testing turret number 1. Now, let's play the video. You're going to see them, and it's basically going to be, there's your A mark, and as you can see, the turret is following, right? Basically, what's it called in Eve? It's your turret tracking, right? How fast that turret can go to where you're aiming. So that's right. That's the tracking. As you follow, you can go ahead and it'll follow where you're pointing. So you can plan out your attack. So if there's a fast ship, right, you can kind of lead it on, or you can, as you see here, they just added the other turret. So if you've ever played a thing, I heard people say World of Warships is like this, has that. So you can set a course for your ship and then manually control where your guns are doing, where they're going to fire. And I believe there is, I'm not sure if you can set a delay or whatnot. It's very prototype right now. We're going to be getting this when WASD controls do come out. The debate now is whether this is going to make, we'll just repeat that video here. If it's going to make the PvE sites slower than you are going now. I also asked the question in today's stream if you'll be able to say, have your onboard computer use one turret and you manually use another turret. That's an option. They said that they're going to be looking into. Now, the reason that you might want to be doing manual control is they did say that down the road they want manual control to be more engaging, and they want you to be able to have more power doing this. So, in other words, you're going to be doing more damage if you control your turrets manually, as opposed to just letting the computer take over. So, I hope they set it for both, so those that don't want to do this, they can just play it the normal way. But it is going to be a really odd, I say, a new way of looking at PvP content, right? Or fleet fights. It's going to bring a new depth into that. So I might need to download and play that World of Tanks just so I can kind of familiarize myself with this. But a lot of people are saying it's basically that. So, and obviously other turrets are going to, like other weapons platforms are going to be different than just, coils. So now I'm going to play a clip from the stream today. Now, I was on Laura Murr's stream the other day when they unveiled this system, right? And it was basically the world premiere, or they was an exclusive for his channel. So I made the joke, hey, where's my exclusive? I'm covering E-Frontier. What about me and other content creators? And they did answer back with this, and we put the volume up so you guys can hear it. Maybe I should actually close out the game so we don't have that noise in the background. Hold on a second. All right, so let's play this video. Let me put my earpiece in so I can listen along. And here we go.
I think there was in that chat, I think it was Lord Damon who was calling out, like, when are we gonna join his stream? And I think we should just, like,
you can just put requests in.
Yeah. When are we gonna do it? Right back at you, motherfucker.
Yeah. Damon, you want us?
You haven't fucking invited us. Yeah. So how Damon, about that? Yeah,
come on.
Fucking invite us, Damon, and we'll show up on your stream. I absolutely will do that. Right now, not right now.
Yeah,
but
and to anybody else as well. Like, this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
I think there was.
All right, guys. So you heard it here first. All I have to do is just reach out, and we can set up an interview. And this goes for any content creator out here or any fledgling guys who's going to start making content for Eve Frontier. They say they love sitting down with the community, answering questions. So my challenge to you right now is come up with some questions that you guys want me to ask them in this interview. So yes, I'm going to set up an interview with the dev team, and we're going to ask some questions. Obviously they're going to play some things close to the vest, but maybe we can get some of those questions and you don't have to worry about it being cherry picked, at end of cycle or whatnot. So put in the comments below, put the questions you want asked, or hit me up in my DMs on Discord. They are always open. I'm always available to talk to anyone out there about the game itself, or about if you have any tribe news, we can put in for community news, or any ideas of videos you want to see me do, we can take care of that. So we covered the steering. We covered the roadmap announcement, which is, I'm loving that. What else we have is they talked about the winners of the sign posters for Cycle 1, right? So the points are out. Let me just bring up my points so you guys get a basis of what I'm talking about here. So these are the winners for Cycle 1. Now, you may see, why is there 15 names on this list? Well, the reason there's 15 names on, they said due to the hub not working and the cycle leaderboard. And I'll bring up the leaderboard real quick this cycle, because this is the cycle's leaderboard. And as you see here, I am not within the top 10 due to some shenanigans. And what we're talking about, we're going to talk about this in another video about covering the news, over the last 2 weeks. But suffice to say, there were some bugs that allowed people to springboard ahead of everyone else. I am nowhere even in the top 10. I'm at 157 so far right now. And some stuff is, I got another 10 recruited, so I don't even have these points yet. So everything's just kind of screwy right now. And yes, it's still an issue with the mission hub not working in game and out of game, and everything's still recorded in the background. So you're gonna have your Eve points, right? You're gonna have your Eve points. But yeah, everything's just kind of screwy right now. But those that saw in the top 10 the names, that's where they were going to give the posters. But once the calculations were done with the Eve points due to the 20% grace based on recruits or other missions that didn't record but recorded on the back end, everyone got shuffled in the top 10. So what they did was they expanded it to the top 15 people are getting signed posters now, due to if you weren't in first, second, third, or the top 10, you drop down into the top 15. Well, you're still guaranteed that poster. So the names are right here. As you can see, even though on the leaderboard I was number 1, I was not number 1. So once they tallied the points, I was told that UBS had massive amounts of points. Now, I thought I had a massive amount of points. Now, why I say that is we go to my history. For Cycle 1 Grace, I have 19,281 Grace points, right? That's a lot of points. Now, I was told that UBS far, surpassed that. So we're talking maybe like 30, maybe 40K, points. So insane amount of points. So I don't know who UBS is, but congratulations for hitting number 1. But these are the names. These are the top 5. I know I talked to a few of you guys on here. Wesley, I've talked to Mike Rowe, Flobnox I've talked to a bunch of times. So yeah, all of you guys, we're all in a group. We're all going to get signed number 1 posters when they send out. Just hit up Jotun, give them the address or a address where you want that poster mailed to, and they're going to get it out to you. So with that being said, I guess we can touch up on it now, and I'm definitely going to touch up on it again on another video, coming up. But where is it? Oh, I might have lost it due to a page error. Let's see if it still comes up. No, okay, so they took it down. So I had it, and due to lost internet and lost. So basically, they were saying to claim your points, right? Your point conversion, so you can, basically those 19,000 points are going to transfer over into Eve points, right? Which are going to be persistent in your wallet. They're going to carry over from cycle to cycle to cycle. You're never going to lose those. And they keep telling us that we want them. We're going to want them for something special, but they aren't telling us what it is. So they released this information. I'll bring it up here on Discord. Let's see here. I don't think it's this one. I think it's another announcement. Let me just find it. Oh, here it is. Okay, so it says, just want to give you a heads up. You may see a notification tonight in game about claiming Eve points for Cycle 1. If so, pretend you're seeing that later this week. In fact, it's not even later this week. It was supposed to be fixed, and I'm going to bring up that screenshot in a minute. So everything's still running behind, right? This was actually, I think it's not supposed to launch to this week coming up. They said later this week, but as let me bring up this picture here. As you can see here, Two-Faced Monkey, who is basically the main force behind the mission hub, and they got another guy working there now too. Congratulations for Two-Faced Monkey. They just had a baby, so he's a little stretched thin. But the in-game hub is supposed to have a claim button, so you can claim these E points. And they said that you have up till October 15th to claim these. It's not working at the moment. In fact, it's not even showing up in-game anymore, nor is it showing up on the launcher, because it had it on the launcher as well. It was like right over here, and they had another, I guess I go through here. It's not even here anymore. So they took it off the launchers because it's not ready yet. So they're probably going to extend the date of those claimable points probably further than October 15th, but be on the lookout for this working next week, and you'll be able to claim all those Eve points that you've generated from the cycles, and then, the Grace points, and convert them over to Eve points, which we're all going to want to amass and use for something in the future. So, and about what I forgot to mention before, I didn't know it was that easy to, I didn't know you didn't have to be a massive streamer with a huge following to sit down with the devs and Jotun to get an interview. I didn't know. All I had to do was ask. I am still suffering from the PTSD of dealing with NetEase devs from Eve Echoes, and it was a traumatic experience. So That being said, I didn't know it was going to be that easy. But I did reach out to them. I let them, whatever date and time works best for their schedules, I am open to, and we'll get this done. And like I said, if you guys have questions you want answered, send them to me. I'm gonna get a whole bunch of questions, and we're gonna, not hold their feet to the fire, but hold their feet to the fire, right? So, with that being said, I know I said that a lot, but that's the last thing. So we've talked about everything I wanted to talk about in this video. We're gonna again look out for the next video where I go back and cover everything, such as base building expansions, the being able to move vertically up and down now, all that good stuff, as well as community news in the next video. So until I talk to you guys again, have a great week, have a great weekend, fly safe, and remember, we are always on this channel, one vision, one purpose, one front. I'll see you guys in the next video.